Hello kids, this is your coding teacher Mira. So today we are with the project, Scratch project, and this is going to be a really cool project. Okay, so the project is, look at this. Let me show you this. Oh, I'm sorry. So whenever you move your mouse pointer, and whenever you move, you're going to make a ball move. Okay, so that when the ball hits the parallel, score is going to increase, and if the ball doesn't hit the parallel, it does hit the ground or the red line, we're going to end the game. Okay, the game is going to be over. Okay, so let's see how to make this in the Scratch. Great. So let's create a new project, and this project is called, let's say, ball and paddle, or ball and whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to create my characters, or I'm going to pick my characters. I'm going to go with the apple because I don't want to feel same. I want to feel different with my before project. And next my character is going to be magic wand. So you can call it a character, or you can call it as a sprite. So let's go here and take my next backdrop, which is called the background, is called a backdrop, and I'm gonna go with a space city. Yes, and let me delete this cat guy because he's irrelevant for us in this project. So go to costumes, and I want to make my band a little bit bigger. So I like it. Okay, let's go back to code. So this is the main place where we're going to select our code. Okay, so next, first step first, so we need to make our character move, right? So I'm going to say move 10 steps. Let's say what's happened to 10 steps. Sorry, I need to do this in my apple. So click the apple and do your code over here. So move 10 steps. So you can see 10 steps is not such a big. So I'm going to say 30 steps, and you can give whatever, but 50 steps is going to be very huge difference. So make sure you're right. Yes, I think I like it. And next I need to say forever block, okay, because I don't want this to happen once. I need to take my forever block, so this keeps on happening. Okay, so this keeps on going. So whenever I click this, yes, it keeps on moving 30 steps, and as can you see, if it is on the edge, it's getting stuck. So before solving that problem, we need to go to events, and every time I click the flag, I want the operation to perform. I want whatever under this to be performed. It's set of instructions. So I'm going to say, so what happens now is, so whenever I click the green flag, it's going to perform all the set of instruction under the green flag. Yep. So let's check what's happening. Okay, yes. Can we see we got stuck with a problem? It's going to an edge. It's moving 10 steps and it's getting stuck at the edge. So come back to motion block, which is a blue block, and come down. We have a block which is called if on edge bounce. So take that block and put under the move block. So it gets stuck on the edge, and if I say if on edge bounce back, so it bounces back to your screen. Yes, so did you see a problem again? Oh, it's getting rotated. I don't want it to get rotated. Let's keep this point direction in 90-degree. Great. So let's use a block called point in direction. And let's put it up over here and go to operators, and we're going to pick some random degrees. Okay, so we don't want any specific degrees, because if you're going to go specific degrees, it's going to get stuck. So let's say from 90 to 180, it can choose any degree of its wish. Okay, and let's see how this is working. Yes, I like it now. I like it very much. So can you see, so this one is like moving too fast. So how to control the speed? So you can either use move 30 steps, or you can decrease this to control the speed. So you can see it might move. It picks a different direction every single time you run it. Yes, so now it moves a little slower, but if you want like any random position, so you can, instead of move 20 steps, you can just use the go to random position block, or glide to random position block. Great. So my next step is to check. Okay, so I need to have my paddle. Okay, so every time I click my paddle, I want my score to increase. Okay, so let me put my paddle down, and I need to make sure that this thing is always in the paddle. Okay, so it needs to move with my mouse, right? So I need to say, go to events, and take your green flag out. So whenever you click, this is supposed to be in your mouse. So go to blue block, that is motion block, and check set X to. So what happens is the X, as I said, X is going to be a left and right direction. So whenever you drag your mouse left and right, it's going to keep taking your mouse. Okay, it takes the coordinates of the mouse and gives inside this and say mouse of X. So now the mouse of X, whatever the position of your mouse X, is equal to the paddle of X, that is the left and right of X. Okay, so let's stop it and try running it again. Oh yeah, so it got stuck. What's wrong? What might be wrong? Because I didn't give a forever loop, so it got stuck over here. So if I'm going to give a forever loop, this error is going to get solved. Yep. Yep, as you can see, but I don't think we can have a score here. So my next step is to have a score. So go again to the similar steps. Go to events and take the when my green flag is being clicked, and initially I want my 0 to be 0. So go to variables and create a new variable, or you can change this variable as well, but I'm going to make a variable and I'm going to name it as score. So name it as score and say okay. So then say set my variable, click and drop it here, and instead of my variable change it to scores. Set my score. I mean, you need to drop it here because every time you start your project it needs to set your score to 0 so that it gets refreshed. And then I'm going to check every time if it hits my paddle, if the ball hits my paddle every single time, I want my score to increase. So go to sensing controls and you have if then block. So we're going to have our if else block, drop it here, and so go to sensing. Now we have touching the mouse pointer, drop it and place it in this place, and instead of mouse pointer say magic wand. So if it touches my magic wand, so I'm going to say change my score by 1, and now I want to change my direction, right? So and after changing the score I'm going to like turn it into a different direction. Okay, I don't want it to go in the same direction, so I'm going to say point to a different direction, or you can turn it. Both are best options. So every single time I don't want it to be predictable, so I'm going to pick something random. So you can pick something between 90 to, I'm going to pick something between 170 to 180. Okay, I'm going to go with the same thing that I gave for my point and direction, so that it doesn't make a big difference or it doesn't rotate itself. Yes. But as you can see, the score is not increasing because it's just checking once. Okay, so because of that, what I need to do is you need to go to control root, because it's not checking every single time. As we saw the latest problem, it's the same problem. It's not checking every single time, so I need to make sure that it's checking all the time. So let's see now. Oh. Yes, so I need to make it less predictive. Let's say 30 degrees. Okay, so as you can see, after changing its degrees, what happens is it's repeating the same step again. So I'm going to say move some steps ahead. Okay, don't worry about it and just move some steps ahead and start doing your thing. That's what I'm going to say here. Let's check if the score is getting increased. I don't think. Okay, I found a mistake. Can you find what the mistake is? Instead of my variable score, I gave my variable, and that's the problem here. So let's check now. Oh, that's great. So now I need to make sure that it's ending the game, right? So close it and go. And as you can see, if whenever I'm going to touch the edge, it's going to bounce back. So I can't use that statement which says like when on the edge you can't stop the game. So what I can do is I'm going to take a line. I'm going to make a line You can have your line. I think we have a line, predefined line, the costumes. Take a line, and I want to make it a bit smaller. Go to costumes and change its size, because red in my blue space is going to look weird. And I'm going to keep this down. Okay, so I need to change this color to the similar one which is on my screen. Okay, I think I like it. Okay, great, I love it. So let's go back to code. So this is the painful thing. Okay, I try my best to place it below the screen so that it doesn't seem very odd to us. Okay, so now let's say whenever the apple touches the line, I want to say stop all. Okay, so for that what we need to do, the same logic, go to events, whenever this was being clicked, and then what we need to do, we need to go to controls and take the forever block, because you need to check many times, like for endless you need to keep checking. And I need to say the condition block, that is if then block, because I call it condition block because it comes with the condition. So if you're going to say this, see this, and I need you to perform the set of statements, right? So because that it's called conditional block, I need to say if it touches the blue line, touching the line. Oh, I'm on line. So it's if the line touches the apple, then stop all. So you can either do this the same thing in the apple and change the, instead of apple you can change it as line. Both are same almost. And we need to take the stop all, which is in the blue block. Okay, which is in the control, sorry. So this is my I'm so bad at this. So this is my project to make a apple and a band similar to the ball and paddle. So thank you for watching, and let's continue doing the project together. See you next video. Bye bye. Love you guys.